Good morning, class. We meet again in web framework programming. This time we move into topic 11 about inline editing and image uploading. In our previous week, we already put another UI/UX experience for the user. We add modal for adding new supplier and also for editing the suppliers data. This first button using modal and then refreshing all page. And the second one, the edit B, without refreshing the page. And also we create the delete function without refreshing the. Okay, this one. Okay, today we will add another UI/UX experience for the user by using inline editing. Inline editing means the user can edit the field here, for example nama here or here, the alamat here, just by clicking double click, and then after double clicking this field become editable, and then after we putting the focus or entering on pressing the enter button, it will be changed. Okay, so we will the user can be use this form, this table directly for editing the content. This one is for inline editing. And about image uploading, we will create another field here, for example logo, the logo of the supplier, and we will upload the image. We will upload the image by using the supplier, create new form supplier. One, we will create another field here for uploading image, and we will create another uploading button for changing the picture. This one can be changed by inline editing, and the picture can be changed directly with the button or last button. Okay, we move to inline editing first. jQuery has inline editing features. In inline editing, user can directly change the data in the cell of the tabel. Text box for editing will be shown after user doing double click, and the change will be remain in client side table. First we will see that the change just remain in the client side. If we refreshing the page, it will getting the data again from the database, and the changes will be disappears because it's still in client side. So it will need to code to get the changes and then send it to server via Ajax, and the function will be updating the database. Okay, the step is there. Add reference for data table editor, we will use jQuery that edit table. And then second, add a class in the TD to determine that TD can be edited. Not all TD can be applied for editing. For example, maybe after we have uh, uh, another field here, logo, or maybe the ID, we not apply the ID for editing. Also the logo, also the buttons column. So we have to prepare some field, some column, column that will be enabled. For example, in here we will enable the column nama and alamat. Then add an ID to the TD with string that includes the field name and the ID of the record, because it will use the field name, what is the field name and what is the ID when we use Ajax. So the TD will have a string that includes these two, field name ID. And the function will attach into class, so we will add the class here and the ID here. Using editable function in the class in step 2. Then the function will split the ID in step 3 to get field name and ID, field name and ID of the edited record. The ID and the field will be sent to the controller via root along with edited data. Okay, and then the controller will update the record, and it will be set by doing update or getting the ID, what's the field to be updated that we can get from field name. Okay, this is the steps. Then we will move to the first step. Okay, we can use jQuery editable min.js from ULS. So please download from here or another source from internet. jQuery editable, query editable. Already put it here. jQuery editable, this one. Save into the plugin folder. Asset, public, plugin one. Okay, in plugin folder, save it. And we have to reference it by using this one. Open the layout plate. Plate. Okay. Put it to this one. Along with another script. jQuery editable. Save. And then not all TD in table will be implement the inline editing. So we will create a class, a specific class for doing editing, for implementing the editing. Let's say the class is editable. So we put class equal to editable in the column that we want to edit. So it will be in index. We put the class in the looping here. I'm sorry, this category suppliers. Suppliers. Okay, in the looping here, put it here class editable, class editable. This is our second step. The third step, we create an ID for each cell that have a unique name and contain field name and the ID of the record. Okay, fortunately in our last topic about updating data without refreshing, in our second button of edit, the edit B button, we already create this one, so I think we will not need to edit, we will not need to change anything here. The ID already have the field name here, name and address here. Okay, so for our third step, it is already done. Next, we will attach the editable function. The function have to execute after page loading completed. So therefore it can be used existing. Sorry, it cannot be used. It cannot be used existing JavaScript section. So we create another section here. For example, section initial script. Section initial script. Then the function will attach the ability in the class, the specific class that will be editable string. The class with editable class equal to editable. This one. On the function there is a parameter close on enter. For example, if we want to end the editing with enter key pressing, press the enter key for ending the editing. And also there is a callback function. After this callback function will be raised after we done the editing. So in our first step, we just alerting the edit content. After we edit, what we edit will be reset in this one data.content. In our first step, we will just raise an alert here. We catch the data, we catch the string and alerting. Okay, we'll add this one in another section. Put it in the index, another section, example, your script. Sorry, script here. as the editable class or set class, it will use point here. Table the editable have some parameter. One of the useful parameter is close on enter. If we not use the enter, we have to put the focus offset editing field. If we use this one, close on enter true, we can done the editing after we press the enter button. Enter key. Then have to create a callback function with trace after we done the editing. Callback function will get data or callback, and then we will check whether there is a different data or not. If data.content, it means the data is changes. Okay, for first try we just alert data.content. Okay, and then we have to put the initial script yield in the layout. The layout is it place here, and the script. Save it, and we will try it first. Sorry. And that okay. It got a special character from a PowerPoint strange character, so I dare it and make a space again. This one, then we just double click in any field here. For example, in English Macoyo. Okay, not work. Okay, there is an error about sample data because there is an error here because there's so our script will done because of error the script will be ended. I think this one we can just delete because we uh, copy it from Comware dashboard. The Comware dashboard have many features that shown in the dashboard in the one page, not in our page, so we can delete it. This is always example over script. I think we have to this one. I take it from the PowerPoint. It have very strange character here. Okay, we will rewrite it. Right, yeah. Reference. Don't copy it from the slide. You can copy it from another replace one. Tags in jQuery editable. Yes. Check it again. There is no error here. So the error is from this one. Okay. Should not copy it from here. Don't copy it from here. It's better using another reference. I see another existing reference and edit. So we will continue to edit this one. For example, Tenggus Mejoyo, enter, and then we get the editing text and we alert it. Also here, Waker incorporate. Waker product. But again, the changes just remain in the client side. It means in our database, you can see our database still like another before the editing, the old value, still the old value. And also if we refresh it, it will come back again old value, because the new value just remain in client side. So the next step is to get this edit tab, editing text, edit the text. After we get the edited text, we also have to update the our editing field, editing record. So we have to get the ID here and the field here. Next. Next, the Ajax. We will not modify the alert and create a function, create calling a function. This function will use the ID. The ID will be split, and we will get the field name and the ID. We can see that we have this structure TD underscore and this field name and the ID. So we can split it with this underscore parameter here, delimiter. underscore delimiter here, and we can get an array from the split function. The first array will be 0. 0 is dd. The number one array. Array 1 is field name, and array 2 is id. Okay, and then we will pass it into controller here. We get the field name and id, and we pass to the controller here. Then we have to create the routing. For example, we create the supplier dot save data field, function. Okay, we create the routing. Maybe it's not shown in the slide, but we have to create the routing first. And then we create the controller save data field. In the controller save data field, it will get the ID, the field name, and the value, the edited value. The edited value will be updated with the new value here and growing save. Then we can respond it, for example, with message supplier update. This message will be taken in this one and alert, growing alert. Okay, we create this one first, and then create the routing, create the controller. Index alert will be removed, and put for doing Ajax, and copy it from here. Ajax is we will split, get the ID and to get the name, field name. For example, we use another variable for storing the ID first. The ID will be stored in, for example, SID, string ID. We can get it by using data dot, this one, data dot dollar element 0 dot 8, and then we can split it. ID from S dot underscore ID that split with delimiter underscore, and we get for the number 1. And the field name, for example, we use F name. Oh sorry, the ID is number 2, the F name number 1. Field name first, and then after field name underscore again, and then ID. So field name under number 1 and ID number 2. Then with Ajak URL, the URL will be supplier, for example, update save data field. save data field. We already have save data, but for using saving all field, we will create again save data field for doing update as one field. Then put it in for name, field name, and the value, the new value. The value can be taken from data.content. And after success, we just alert it. So else here. Okay. Next, to create the routing. Routing web.app. Copy it from save data and just edit the field after the data ini. Field. Save data field. Data field. One. And then we create a controller. Function save data in the controller. Fire controller, we can create it, we copy from this one, save data. Save data, and then field, data field. The ID, we can get the ID from request get ID. And we can get field name from request field name. We can get value from request value. And we find the supplier by using ID, and then the supplier of the field. Jadi supplier, for example, if this one is address, will become supplier address. Field, we can just put the value here, the new value, and doing save here. After saving, we just create the JSON with status and message supplier data is updated. So I think already done for the our steps for inline editing. We will check. Okay, refresh it first. For example, I think we will create another supplier. For demand itu. So, okay, for example, this one I will hit here for demand and woman and click enter. Okay, I think not working. Okay, not working. We can check our console. Did it again. One ID is not defined. define callback. I think we never get the ID. This one. It should be without dollar sign here. This one also without dollar sign. Like PHP, if you use dollar sign. This JavaScript. Sorry. Yeah, that again. Change pressing. Change again. Team and trying. Okay, supaya data is updated. And we can see the update also remain in the database. And we can also use inline editing for another field. Example alamat, Sidoarjo, kota, and after we refresh, it still remains because it's also changed in the data. And so our first topic about editing, inline editing success. Check result after edit, value still remain. Refreshing. Okay, we already doing it. Okay, we will moving into the second topic about image uploading. Okay, in the product, we can see our product have an image that represent the product image, the photo of the product. The application should provide an ability for user, for example, for your admin user, to make another new product and then uploading the image of the new product, or maybe doing updating the new photo of the product. However, in this example, in this slide, we will still using suppliers. We will still use our suppliers stuff, and then still letting the product for your exercise, because you already done our first editing section, adding section, editing, deleting, adding with modal, adding with Ajax, and other. And then and we use suppliers, so we will keep letting the product for your exercise. Therefore, we will add a field here, a new field for example, logo. The supplier have a logo, so the image will represent the supplier logo. Okay, we will add the logo field first here. Add one name logo pacar, for example. It have to be able to null, because we already have data without the logo field, so we have to check it. Okay, now there is another field here, logo, with null value for existing data. Next, we will use two uploads. The first upload is doing the upload in form create. In form create, in existing form create, there is just two field for inserting data, nama and alamat. So we will put another field for logo. And then we also use the upload in specific modal, specific for just the logo, for uploading just the logo. And this second we can use for placing the new logo for existing data. Okay. First, we move for the upload photo in form create. In this example, we will use the non-modal create. So we will use our first form create here. Form create, we set in create.bread.php. We will add field here, one field, sorry, for the logo. Okay, this one, the label is logo. The input type, because it is a file, we have to change it to file. Type file. The input type is file and ID logo. The name in also logo for submitting. And then for doing a submission file, we have to create an encryption type here. Encryption type equal to multi-part or form data. This one have to be done because we use file. We use file for submitting. Okay, multi-part form data. Okay, this one already send the data to the store function in the controller. Yeah. We already have store function, so we just modify it. This one. Okay. So before we add file, we add the field. We have to move it updated first. Move the file to the server. We will put the file into images folder. We put the file into image folder. Okay. First, we will get the logo and the image folder. We define the image folder. This one is image, and then we create the image file name. We will use time concat with underscore concat with the original name. So if this one will in order to not crashing with another field, another record with uh, the same logo name. For example, some record maybe have logo with name logo.png. We upload it. So another record, we also have another logo.png. If we not use time here, it will be replaced. So we will avoid that with this one, using time and then concat with underscore and the field name. Okay, and then file will be copied into the folder with name and image file name. And then the logo field will be placed with will be store the image file. This one in the database, in the field database logo will be stored this one image file or JPEG. We will use images in the when we are using the image, we will use this folder. So this folder is not necessary to store in this field. Okay, we will add the file here. File go to request but file here. Okay, file logo. Then we create the folder, the images. Then create the image file that will time concat with underscore continue file dot get client original name. Get client original. Then the file will be removed. Move file dot move to the image folder, images. With name in image file, M.Sc file. This one will be upload the file, and we need to put the name into database. Data logo equal to image file, M.Sc file. One. Okay. Check the result. Pressing first. One. What we add in our form. Sample. Red talk. Delta Sari. Okay, the file will one. I already prepared the logo. Red chalk and then submit it. Oops, sorry. Undefined constant logo. File controller in 41. Okay, this one we move the string here and refresh. Resubmitting. Okay, the data already in database, but we will see the database was for the logo field and refresh it. This one, the field name and the logo field already filled with the image name, and we also will text the folder here. Okay, sorry. Copy image. This one, breadcloth. So the image already upload and database also already filled with the name of the image of the logo, but we still doing anything in the index for showing the logo. So we will add a new column here, logo. Okay, then after alamat put the image img c equal to, we use assets, and because it's policy public, it will use that here. Sorry, public. Oh no, asset, just image, and then concat with the image name. Okay, logo. And maybe it will be at the with or hic equal to, for example, px. Okay. Okay, we will see the result. Okay, this one. Very tiny, maybe. We can make it higher. Okay. Next. Maybe we will use another example. Okay, roti man. We already have roti man here. Roti man and woman we deleted first. We will re-entry the roti man. Roti man is the logo for roti man. Roti man. Kertajaya. Okay, I'll show you a useful website for creating logo. This one, cooltext.com. We can create a text-based logo here. For example, roti man. I will take it this logo. Roti. Okay. We can save it. Image for to this first. Don't put it in the images in our website supplier because we will upload it. Okay. Then this one will be chosen. F protein submit. Get submit protein here. Okay, so our first trying about uploading image success. Next, this one, and this one. Upload in specific model form. In this case, we will use a specific model for changing the existing logo image. For example, we will change the breadcork or the Rotiman logo, or changing the null logo here, and adding image for earlier data which added without logo, like this one. This one. In order to simplify the code and focusing to the uploading function, because our topic is about uploading, we will prepare a model in every record. So we will not use Ajax for doing the filling the form. Okay, we will create the model form in every record. Okay, about the form, it has a encrypt type and will be have an action to a specific routing, and don't forget to prevent root. The form will have an element to select the image, for example the logo with input type is file, and then also have a hidden field ID for passing the ID because we will need it for updating the data, updating the record. And then the model will be shown when user click change button. The model will be shown when user click change button below the logo image. So we will create the button below the logo. Okay, this is the form. This is the button here. Okay, because every record have model, record have a model for updating. We have to put the ID here. Put ID. Okay, we can copy it from our create new file, our add supplier with a model here. We can copy the structure from here and put it in the looping. The looping, for example, in here. Okay, we will cut the structure of model first. And cut from model create, copy, not cut, copy it from model create, and then okay, this one. We put the model here. We need to change the ID, for example, model change for changing the logo, and then concat it with the ID. we can use another field, for example, the name for the title here. For example, edit the logo of this one. We can put, for example, the name. And then in the name here, we can put the logo here. Logo ID is logo, also logo typings file. Okay, don't forget to put the ANC type, scripted type equal to multipath or form data. And for URL, I think we will use root supplier dot change logo. We will see in the slides. Okay, supplier dot change logo. This one, logo. Alamat, you can remove it. The submit button still here. Cancel also still here. And we will call it from button here. Ref, it should be the ID of the model. Thing with ID here. Then in the class, sorry, data toggle equal to model, and then we can use the class for the button looks button XS, and for example button default things. Okay. Okay, check the slide again. The form is already done. Okay, you also need to create the hidden input here. Input type is hidden with value, sorry, ID is ID. The name also, actually we use name here because we are using submitting. And then value. The value can be this one. D. Okay. Next, we will create routing. The routing will be supplier.change logo. Change logo. We can use copy it and just replace this one. Change logo. Logo here. Change logo here. Okay. Okay, actually before doing change logo, we can checks the result whether the model is doing fine or not. Okay, we clicking OK. It should be placed in below so we can use brick. Okay, put brick before the button. This one here. Okay, can change it. For example, Quaker. Quaker. This one. Edit the logo of Quaker Incorporated. Change again. This edit logo of Pupu Tintin Mekah Raya. So the model work fine. We also can use the existing logo. This one, existing logo here. We can put the existing logo here and the new logo here. Okay, then we will save doing this upload and updating the database. Next, we will go to the change logo function. We will upload and update and then redirect to the index. This one. This one is combination from the update, combination from the update and the upload and then update. So we can get it from, and this one, the redirect can be get from the storing new data. So we will copy it from our previous save data field. Sorry. We can also you can use this one store. Can create the updating from store here. Copy it from store. The name is things logo. Things logo. Okay. Data equal to new supplier. We will change it with data is supplier find. And then we will not edit anything about name and address. We remove it. What file? This is the same. There is a file logo. This folder is the same. In file also the same. File also the same here. And then redirecting with maybe another status here. Supplier logo. Supplier logo is updated. Okay. Terus ID, where's the ID? Sorry, we have to get the ID. ID equal to request ID. Okay, we will try it. Press it first, and for example, change the Quaker Incorporated logo here. I already create the Quaker logo. Quaker. Oops, creating default object from project. supercontroller PSP. Data image file. Okay, not data here. Use supplier. Wait. Save it again. Refresh. Submit. Okay, error. Supply. M.Sc. Okay, sorry. This one to be get ID equal to get ID. Please submit again. Create file quicker. Bubu LinkedIn, for example, I create another logo here. The logo with the style. Bubu LinkedIn. Try to upload here using the image. Okay, it's work fine. Okay, we also have done our second uploading image. Upload photo in specific modal form. Okay, this topic is finished. Now for the homework, with the same added features in this slide for the products. Okay, thank you. We will meet again next week.